Hello guys, welcome to the show. Listen, I am glad to have you guys here, really. I'm going to tell you honestly. I'm here in Romania for a few more days. I'm heading back to Canada. And anyway, I'm recording this show. I wanted to show you a bit of what the Romanian money looks like. I got a little bit here. Now, they make it all different sizes. It's not paper money, it's plastic money, you know, like they have home in Canada. But here, this is the one. This is their one, and it's worth roughly. The one is worth roughly 33 cents, or say 30 cents, about 28 cents. Okay, 28 cents U.S. That's what that's worth. Their one. It's called a leu. They call it the leu, but they also call it the ron to make it even things more confusing. They call it the ron. That's the one, and then they have these. This is what their 10 looks like. So that would be worth about. Let's see, 10 would be worth about. Oh, I don't know. What U.S. Maybe $2.50, and this is their 5, which would be worth even less, worth about $1.50. This is the 5. And then they got their. This is 100. Now, if you see something here about this, they make their bills all different sizes. Now, this is their 100. Now take a look how much bigger it is than their. So they don't fit really good in your wallet because they're all different sizes. The bills. Anyway, I figured I'd show you guys those what they look like, the Romanian money. And anyway, listen, you know, you can get a taxi here. Like, get a taxi to go around for $1 for 1.39 leu per kilometer. Now that's only about 40 cents a kilometer. I mean, you can get a taxi here all day long for like 20 bucks. You can have them ride around all day long. Like it's much cheaper than to get a taxi here. Food is actually a lot cheaper here too. You know, I mean, like say if you're buy a big chunk of cheese, it might be 8 leu or 10 leu. That only works out to about $1.50 or something. You know, and you can't buy in a store back home a hunk of cheese that size. It'd be about 4 times the price, you know. So I think the merchants, you know, are taking advantage of our higher wages, you know, and they're actually. Oh, here's some of the coins. Now that's a half of a leu. It's 0.50. They call them banny instead of penny. They call it banny. They're called bannies. Anyway, that's what it's like. Anyway, I want to talk about cryptocurrency for a minute. You know, let's get it open here and let's open up the charts and take a look at what's going on. You know, the Lightning Network is being established while we speak, and it's being adopted faster than Apple Pay. They're bringing merchants and everything, and they're beating Apple Pay and merchant onboarding. It's growing. You know. Meanwhile, while Bitcoin is kind of stagnant right now and the price is staying down low, the whole thing is actually growing out bigger. And this is going to enable something called micropayments. It's never been able to be enabled before. Just imagine if you're on the internet, you know, and you want to buy something that's only worth a nickel. Well, right now you can't, but this is going to enable it, so that you can buy something that's only worth a nickel. And believe me, that doesn't sound, you say to yourself, well, how many companies would only charge a nickel for something? You'd be surprised what's going to pop up on the internet that you're going to want to buy in the future, very near future. And it's only going to cost a nickel because this enables it to be only cost a nickel. Like maybe some things like sites that have things that are very interesting that they want to sell, that you're only going to be able to pay for them with the Lightning Network. So an awful lot of people are going to start to come on board once micropayments get established. You're going to see companies pop up everywhere that on the internet that sell things that only cost a nickel and dime. And why these companies will pop up is because they're offering something that right now a lot of sites are free. They'll hop on board those sites and they'll start charging you to look at certain pages and stuff. And I can think of the news industry for one. Right now they require a subscription, and they'll come on, they'll ask you for subscription costs and everything else to take out of your credit card, and you got to pay for like a year. They'll make you pay for a whole year. Dating sites, for instance, an awful lot of things, right? And right now they make people pay for a whole year subscription. So a dating site, you might go to a dating site or something, and it'll say they want you to buy a year's subscription for like $120, right? But say you just want to use it for that particular day. Well, they don't offer that service, you know, because it's only $1. Well, this is going to enable companies to start microtransactions, so people will only buy in for the day or just want to use something for a day on the internet. And you're going to see these companies pop up, and what that's going to do is it's going to force you, the consumer, on the other end, to go with the Lightning Network to be able to use these services on the internet. I'm not going to mention the most obvious one on the internet that is going to take advantage of this, but use your head, think. You know, what's the most obvious thing that's going to take advantage of microtransactions? It starts with a P and ends with an N. Anyway, give you a big hint. But this is going to push an awful lot of consumers into having to use this. So they'll have to open up a Lightning wallet in order to use these services that are going to be provided on the internet. And this is going to force adoption. That's my point, see? So anyway, the Lightning Network is beating Apple Pay already, and I mean it's not even hardly getting out there. It says Lightning payments, it says they compare them to debit cards. It's just as fast. In other words, what he's saying here is it's all just as fast. They've used it, and the Lightning wallets are just as fast as the debits. You know, it's all almost instantaneous. In fact, they say sending payments across the Lightning Network right here will always be faster than Visa. Right? So you can send a micropayment. You can't send a micropayment with Visa. You can't send 5 cents. You know, I think the transaction fee is like $2 or something. You just can't do it. You know? So debit cards with Apple Pay and the wallets. They got the wallet of Satoshi here, and they're pushing this stuff out. They're rolling it out, and it's going to grow really fast once it starts to really get adopted by micropayment companies that are going to spring up out of nowhere all over the internet, and they're going to be using this system because this enables micropayments. And why they're going to do it is because you say, well, sending a nickel across the internet to a company is not much money. But these companies are not interested in that one nickel. They're interested in 100,000 nickels or 1,000,000 nickels that they're going to get. And so they're going to see the opportunity in this, and you're going to see more and more of this popping up, and this is going to force adoption. It says, what about sending payments? They talk about how long it takes. It says, wrapping it up, the tester noted that inter-term payments, the Lightning Network, is already comparable to the best fiat payment solutions on the market, as it is only a few seconds slower than Apple Pay. They concluded that this should improve with better wallets. It says, but paying merchants is just one of Lightning's many capabilities, since the real disruption lies in the fact that new business models can send micropayments around the world. This means that they can allow for payments for a few cents for, say, bandwidth, reading an article, streaming, tweeting, and more. So you can send just like 2 pennies. You know, and this is going to enable news reporters, people who report, like me, my reports, to enable them to obtain micropayments. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, you know, this is a way to get paid, going past these companies right now that are established, that are actually making an awful lot of money off of the creators. the creators, the content creators, are basically producing a product. These guys are selling advertisements on top of the content creators' product, and what they're doing is they're only giving the content creators a tiny, 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 tiny fraction of the money. This micropayments is going to bypass their system, and it's going to enable content creators, for one. I mean, this is huge. It's huge. You know, it means that you can pay for something now that only costs 25 cents. You know, and an awful lot of internet products are only going to cost 25 cents. And, you know, I mean, the company is like halfway around, say, on the other side of America. You want to buy or read an article, you want to have it now. You don't want to have to try to send through the snail mail system them a payment of 25 cents, and you can't do it with your Visa. And this is bang, bang, bang. It's going to take off. It's going to take off, and this is going to widespread the Lightning Network now that it's established. And what this means for cryptocurrencies is it means boom, boom, blossoming. This is just one of the many factors why cryptocurrency is going to blossom in the near future. Another one is it bypasses the banking system. It makes people their own bank. You know, it means your savings is going to go up in value rather than down. If you take a look at the long-term charts in cryptocurrencies going back, say, to 2009 or 2010, all you see is a steady movement upwards in price. It's been a bull market ever since it started. And this is because it's deflationary, ultimately. So we have these boom-bust cycles within the major bull market. So we got a major bull market that started in 2009 when this was first invented. And what we have is we have boom-bust cycles within that, but it's always higher. It's always stair-stepping higher. So your savings in cryptocurrency, ultimately, in the end, is always probably going to move higher and higher and higher as it becomes more and more established. I remember back when this stuff, you know, this stuff was like, there was no place to spend it. There was no place to use it. It wasn't adopted anywhere, and there wasn't nothing. There wasn't nothing. It's just like empty space. And the Bitcoin would only cost you like 60 bucks, you know. And I mean, there was no place to spend it, though. And there was only one exchange you could buy it from, Mt. Gox, you know. And it was like, back in those days, you thought to yourself, this might just disappear, and my money might disappear with it, so nobody invested much in it. Now, there's still that thought going around, you know. But at this point, I can see that that thought is not productive, to have that thought that it's not going to go anywhere, it's going to disappear. Because I've seen enough now, I realize that this is not going to go away. This is slowly going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger until it actually consumes the fiat monetary system. In the end, that's what's going to happen. It's almost, the handwriting is on the wall for this. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye bye, guys.